Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, I'm back. This will be another video in the installment of however many videos regarding the HVAC certificate program at IvyTech that I recently completed. Today we're going to be getting into some specifics on the tools. You do get a tool list. It is very intimidating. It is very long. And I misunderstood that you had to have all of those purchased prior to starting the program. You do not. You can get them class by class, and it might work out in your favor to do it that way rather than just go all in as I did, because there were some specifics that were not clarified on the list that instructors gave us later on, like better options. So I'm going to go through what I actually used for what class, and I think the previous video details the cost. If I remember, I will, of course, mention it per tool, and if I can remember where I got it, I'll try to throw that in as well. I basically got them from eBay, Amazon, and Lowe's. The ones I purchased if I didn't already have them. I did get some crescent wrenches from the father-in-law for free, so super added bonus there. Let's get into this. First class that I took in the summer session was Basic Electricity, which I recommend taking first because it will pay dividends down the road. It's very repetitive. And Intro to HVAC, which was a joke. I pretty much consider it a waste of money. Happily, I did it before the class started, so I had all of the questions filled in, but that's neither here nor there. This is about tools. So, a meter. You will be lectured at length's end about the meter that you get. Don't skimp, stay away from Harbor Freight, etc., etc. That being said, I got a field piece off of eBay. This is a used item, but obviously it has the case, it has the alligator clips, it has the Type K thermocouple, and it still had the protective plastic over the screen. This particular model is the SC640 from Field Piece. You guys can see that. And it is designed to be specifically used by HVAC technicians. I spent $215, like I said. I think it was an online pawn shop, and I think I got a hell of a good deal. I mean, it even had a brand new battery in it. It's fully charged. Still is, as a matter of fact, because I turn it off whenever I'm not using it. You will need to know those symbols. You'll need to know their terms. You'll need to know their definitions, and you'll need to know how to use your particular meter. The only shortcoming of this particular product in regards to the school usage was in Basic Electricity we had to measure DC, that's direct current, amperage. This meter does not do that. It will only measure micro amperage, or millions of an amp, for like a flame sensor or something like that. So if you want one to be able to do that, you may want to look at other makes and other models to make sure they will read direct current amperage. Otherwise, they had ones that we could borrow there. If you blew up the fuse, the first one was free, and then after that you owed the instructor a bottle of water or a drink, whatever they preferred. So it's less stressful to have your own meter, and without being too repetitious, you're going to need the meter, for every single class. Again, I'm only doing what I did, which was the certificate, which is 7 classes. Basic Electricity, Intro to HVAC. You need the meter for that right away. Within the first 2 weeks, I think we had to have it. The other thing we had to have, calculator. scientific type. This is a Texas Instruments TI-30X, as in xylophone, S as in Sam. Got that? Scientific calculator. Why? Because the basic electricity class is basically a math class, cleverly disguised. You're going to have to learn formulas, you're going to have to learn how to switch them all around, you're going to have to compute using Ohm's law and Watt's law, solve for whatever is missing based on whatever you have. There's also series and parallel circuits and just math, which is why some people bowed out. We started with about 10 and we ended with 5 people in the basic electricity and intro class. They couldn't handle the math. Okay? That was what I say. Calculator was $16 on eBay, and those are the only 2 things I needed for my first semester. Second semester, which was heating fundamentals, heating service, and electrical circuits and controls, I believe. You needed the meter for all 3 of those classes. The additional items I needed that I do not have here, I apologize for that, were a soldering iron. That's for electrical circuits and controls. I think we needed Allen wrenches for that class, which one guy had his, so we just used those, and they didn't announce that beforehand anyway, so we were kind of caught by surprise. The heating fundamentals, in particular heating service class, I needed nut drivers. These are Kleins. They have the little magnet in there. They are not hollow. They're just designed to take out screws. These are too short. If you get nut drivers, whatever make, whatever model, get longer ones, at least 8-inch if you're going to be working on furnaces. A lot of the stuff is way back in there. Otherwise, you're going to need some kind of extension, some kind of tool. I got one of those things that flexes and goes around corners. It's not meant for an impact driver, but if you're using your hand, in fact, I did use it once to take out something. I don't remember now what it was, but it was in and up and back, and so to get in there like this, blind, I'm way out here, would have been a nightmare. So I just did the 90-degree thing, plugged it in the end of this, and just backed it on out. And it was magnetic, so it kept the nut from falling down inside of the furnace, which was really, really handy. That's pretty much all I remember needing for the heating and the electrical circuits and controls. We now move to the third and final semester, which was Refrigeration 1 and Refrigeration 2. For that class, you will absolutely need a gauge set. I was surprised by how many people did not buy this prior to and tried to order it and ended up getting automotive stuff or stuff that wasn't for the refrigerants that we were using. This is a Yellow Jacket model. It came with hoses that I did not use. They were 5 foot. You need to get, let me set this down, low loss fittings. They're fat like that. They do not look, there's the valve core depressor. They don't look like this, and I'll hold them together so you can see the different sizes. You see how much bigger this one is? That is indicative of a low loss fitting. This side does not have a valve core in it because it attaches to the manifold. That's fine. You don't need a valve core depressor there. My advice is, if you can find the gauges with low loss fitting hoses, the fat ones with the valve core depressors in them, buy that. New, used, whatever. And make sure that on your gauge, if you can't see this, you should have R410A and R22. That looks like butt. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, that's even worse because of the glare. You need R22 and R410A. That's all they have in the air conditioning units in the lab, at least at the Indianapolis campus. Now, that was pretty regular use. There's some other stuff that we did for a brazing exercise. And I may have to just move the camera for this. I got this Imperial tubing kit, which was a mistake. Don't get this. Your life will be much better off if you can get the hydraulic version. They have cheap hydraulic versions rather than this stuff, which you have to do by hand. I think I did 2 or 3 tubing for swaging, for expanding the tubing, and you can also do flares with this same thing. I would advise you instead, for about the same amount of money, 90 bucks this thing was, I would get one of the cheap hydraulic versions off of eBay, or Amazon for that matter. So much easier, so much faster. You will need a tubing cutter, full size or pocket size like this. They recommend you get one of each. I just got that one and it worked fine for class. Again, this is all for the brazing exercise thing. Reamer. So when you cut the tubing, you have to clean the inside of it. And the ones I had there, horrible. Highly recommend you get one of these swivel kinds. And the instructor let us use his, but I mean, there's 12 people in a class maximum. You're going to be just sitting there waiting when you can be getting stuff done. If you have these things, you can get the stuff knocked out instead of standing around sucking snot or twiddling your thumbs and toes. Mr. Sparky is what I call him, is for lighting the acetylene torch when we did the actual brazing. The ones they had there, horrible. Absolutely horrible. I think they might have had a lighter, but this, it says to buy it, and it's like $5. It was cheap. I think I got this for $20-something on eBay, and there's spare reamers in there. This, I think, was $25. This is one of the Lowe's purchases, actually. I got this at Lowe's. Where did I get the... I got the gauge set and those low loss fittings on eBay, but I did not get them together. They were separate. So I have a 5-foot set of hoses that are not low loss, which complete total waste. Had I known, I would have got a set all together with low loss fittings. Service wrench, pretty sure I got this on Amazon with the adapter in it. I forgot to tell you where I got these, didn't I? I got these off of Amazon, but you can find them on eBay, and I think those were less than $30. I got those as a set, so that's 1/4 inch and 5/16. I only use the 1/4 inch. It depends what unit you work on in the lab. So that, by and large, is all the stuff that I used in class. It's not anywhere near what I purchased. I think I spent $1,250 worth of tools, and I only used these. And if you watch the other video, it's got the breakdown for what I spent in tools, I think, per semester, and then total. But let's be honest, guys. When you go into the field, they're not going to provide you with every tool that you need. And this is a demonstration on your part that you're serious about what you're doing, because you're making an investment in yourself. You're making an investment in the industry. You're stating, I'm serious about this. This is a testimony, if you will, of just how serious I am. Otherwise, why would I buy all these tools and never to use them? So, meter, calculator, nut drivers, long versions, preferably with a magnet so you don't end up dropping the screws everywhere. Something to light the torch, service wrench, reamer, tubing cutter. Again, he lent us a lot of stuff. There are some people that I don't think bought anything and somehow made it through. They did have meters. We all had meters, but as far as that, I didn't see a whole lot of people bringing even small tool bags in. In our case, what happened was the people that had tools, a lot of people were trying to beg and borrow. I don't think they stole, which that's good, but it just makes a mess. You're supposed to have your stuff, go in, do the assignment, and partner up with someone. So if you want to share with your partner for the day, great. You know, that means one of you doesn't have to bring, but you should still have some of this stuff. And if you want the cost, again, go back to the other video where I detail how much I spent. If you want to buy everything that I had, I don't know that it's worth your while for me to do a video on everything that I bought, because again, they'll give you a to list that has prices on it, and I didn't get anything from pawn shops locally. The instructors actually will tell you where they know that there's meters and HVAC specific stuff to go and buy there, so you do have that option. But it is going to cost you something. You're not just going to go to school. The final word I have to share with you is on financial aid. Apparently, it is not uncommon to be waiting around the first 3 weeks to get your money after class has started. You're 3 weeks into class and you don't have your money, and people are thinking, I'm just going to go to the bookstore and buy it with my financial aid. They have very little stuff over there now. So if that's your plan going in, you probably should change your plan and do what you got to do. Work a part-time job, ask mom and dad. You know, don't sell yourself on the street or, you know, anything crazy. But find a way legally to get this stuff before you start, so you're not in limbo. Again, you can borrow meters for the basic electricity class, but they only had so many. And if it's a full class, it's just plain easier. And the whole point is to get familiar with your meter. That's how they designed it, and I highly recommend it. So I hope that helps you guys out. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to hit like. Just use the information if you're thinking about getting into this particular trade and you're going to go to, it's applicable, I'm sure, to any school. This is just specific for where I went and what I did at IvyTech at the Indianapolis campus, okay, in Indiana, if you need to know. So thanks for watching. I sure hope this helps. Until next time.